You know, we call people weird. We call people strange. They act odd. They acting weird. But I looked up the word weird, and it said that weird means suggesting something supernatural. Suggesting something supernatural. Weird means something that's abnormal, something that's not normal. So when we call somebody weird, what is it that we're really saying? What we're saying is they don't act like us. They think different than us. They act too odd. They're too alienated. They're too isolated. And to be honest with you, these are the people that grow up and be successful in life. Why? Why are all the weird people getting wealthy? The reason they're getting wealthy is because they don't see the way that normal people see. And in my opinion, this is not bad at all. You know when you feel different from the average person. You know when you think differently from the average person. So I do know that I'm different. I do know that I think different from the average people that I'm around. So I tend to be quiet. So when people tell me that, you know, you don't talk a whole lot, it's not that I don't talk a whole lot. It's just that when I talk, you're not going to understand it. When I talk, you're going to feel like I'm just up here. Oh, I really don't talk a whole lot about my dreams and about my aspirations and about things that I want to do, because who's going to understand it? Who's going to believe it? Because they think it's going to be weird. They think it's different. You think too different. That's weird for you to think that you can do that. It's not normal. And that's just where you need to be at. That's just where weird people win at, because they think different. They don't think normally. They're thinking it's abnormal. They don't think the same. They don't act the same. So their results are different. Their results are abnormal from a person who thinks like everybody else. That's why the weird person in the class ends up being the boss. That person ends up owning the company. That person ends up being the multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire, because they thought different. They did not think the same. They thought abnormal. They thought outside the box. They didn't follow the crowd. They was alienated. They was isolated because they couldn't come down on their level of thinking in order to fit in with everybody else. And it's not right. Like, who want to dumb down themselves to just please everybody else? You have to be odd in order to do something extraordinary. So don't feel bad about thinking different, acting different, because those are the ones that usually get different in life. If I had listened to the crowd, what they was doing, what they was saying, the direction they was going, I would have never started my clothing brand. I'm a nurse. It is odd for me to want to have a t-shirt brand, a clothing brand, instead of just making nurse money. But I have a bigger vision than being a nurse. I have a bigger vision than something being a nurse is going to be able to provide. If I had thought that I couldn't do it, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have been putting all this energy and effort into it if I thought it was going to flop. I know that it's going to be a very big, successful brand because of what it's already shown me. You have to go with the factual tracking that you have seen, not with what your family say, not with what your friends say, not with what your coworkers say, not with what your sister or your brother or your kids or your grandma or your papa say. You got to go with what you know you're capable of doing, what you know you're capable of doing. Will it be hard? Yes. But if you know, like me, odd people, weird people, people that act different, like things that are hard. People that act different tend to like things that are a challenge, because we tend to not want to do what's normal. And I didn't wake up one day like this. This is just how I've always been. I didn't tell myself to act different. I didn't tell myself to think different. I didn't tell myself to stay away from the crowd. I was made. It's just in me. Like, that's just how I've always been. Even middle school, high school, being popular, senior superlative, being a singer, music artist. I've never really cared about that stuff like that. I've always just wanted to be myself. I've always been myself, always thought for myself, and I know it's going to pay off. If they feel you're too different, too odd, think too different, take it as a compliment, go on. Because you need time to be a thinker. You need time to be able to plan out what you're trying to do in life. And if that means getting isolated, if that means you got to think different. Don't try to force yourself to fit in with anybody, with any group, family, friends. I don't care who it is. If you think like you think, keep thinking like you thinking, because evidently you need to be thinking how you thinking. May the weird keep winning, and may those who are set aside keep succeeding.